Hi, Scott Doctorman with The Athletic. This is for Caitlin. At one juncture, you just kind of, you went back to the free throw line when Hannah was shooting, smiled, you made a heart, at that point, did it feel like you could almost relax that you saw the victory within your grasp?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think our team's really good about playing until the final buzzer, but, I'm really proud of Hannah. She missed 2 free throws there early in the fourth quarter, and she comes back, and I think she makes 4 in a row. And that's tough to do as somebody that, has really worked on her free throw shooting. But we all have confidence in her, and to be in those pressure situations and to really step up to the line and make 4 in a row after missing 2 in a row is tough. And she extended it to a 3-possession game for us, so I think that definitely gives you a lot of confidence. And with the way our defense had been playing all night, I knew if we could extend it to 3 possessions, we were going to be, pretty good from there on out. So I'm just really proud of her, honestly.
Holly Rowe, ESPN.
Go ahead, Holly.
This is for Hannah Stuelke. Hannah, you talked about how you've really been working on your free throws. What have you improved, and what was it like to step up with the game on the line and be so crucial in that moment?
I think it helps with my confidence a lot. Going into these big games, I'm going to need to knock down free throws, and I think this is a stepping stone to that for sure.
We'll go here in the second row, Brant. There we go.
Chantel Jennings with The Athletic. Caitlin, question for you. I was talking with Kristen Meyer earlier this year, and she said that you've always had this ability to watch what was happening in the crowd and the court. She said if someone was eating popcorn in the 12th row, you'd know. You've done that in college, like you're looking into the stands a lot. Did you do that more tonight, I'm wondering? And also, like, when you do that, what are you or who are you looking for?
I try not to look in the stands the best I can. I don't know. I think, my family has always been people that have been there for me through the ups and downs of my journey, and I think more than anything, they just look at me and motivate me, and I think that's just a sign of reassurance. Or I'll look to our bench and get that too. And but I've always been one to play to the crowd. That's just who I am. That's what I kind of do. And an entertainer in a way. I always want to get them going. And I thought our crowd was tremendous tonight. They really willed us to this victory. And yeah, I think I definitely do it. So at times I'm not even aware as much. Sometimes I'm just looking around. But I think it's being able to lock in at the same time. Sometimes I don't even notice how loud the environment's getting because I'm so focused on the court.
Kyle Huesman, Hawkeye Report. Question for both of you guys. This game went completely different than a lot of your guys' games this season. I mean, 64-54. How are you guys able to get it done in a game that's completely different from the way that you guys normally do it? And then secondly, where does this win rank in terms of toughest ones mentally and physically to get through?
This is definitely up there with the best of them for mentally and emotionally and physically grinding this out and getting the win. But to be honest, looking back on our journey last year, to me, this is one of the hardest rounds in the NCAA tournament. Everybody's really good. You're expected to win. You're on your home court. We have all the pressure in the world. They have absolutely nothing to lose to come in here and upset us. And, that happened my sophomore year. Last year, we were in a game that was even closer than this one. So I think our group was never flustered by any means when they went and tied it up. Yes, we had so many opportunities tonight where we got to a 10-point lead, a 7-point lead, and we couldn't figure out a way to extend it. And honestly, we just didn't shoot the ball very well. We just didn't make shots that we normally make. We didn't shoot it too great from the 3-point line, but I think that should give us a lot of motivation. West Virginia is, a really good basketball team, and we found a way to win. We changed up our defenses. We got big rebounds when it mattered. We made big free throws. So I think that's the biggest thing is there's a lot of positive to take away from this when maybe we didn't even play our best basketball or didn't look as pretty. I think that's more fulfilling of a win for us than, going out there and winning by 30 points.
Go to the middle, Beck.
Jason Root with KCHA Radio. This was for my 9-year-old who threw up this morning on the way into school and couldn't come to the game tonight. So she's curious to know, you've reached a number of the goals that you're looking for in your college career. She's curious to know, as am I, what are your goals once you get to the WNBA?
Oh, gosh. I think that's a loaded question. I think first and foremost, my focus is solely on this team, and that was one of the reasons that I made this decision of, letting everybody know, I'm leaving after this year. I can have a lot of closure. I could walk off the court tonight and know that was my last game ever in this arena, and, that's sad. And but at the same time, when this journey does end, I know, the WNBA, it's a quick flip. You got to be ready for it. But yeah, I think the time will come when I sit down and think about all my professional goals and aspirations. But for right now, my goal is to help this team win a national title and have a lot of fun doing it and smile on the way out and enjoy every single second because it's gone in the blink of an eye. I can't believe I'm a senior and I just played my last game here. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Zachary Draves, SB Nation Swish Appeal. My question is for Hannah. Coach Bluter alluded to it earlier, how the offense generally gets a lot of attention with this team, but defense certainly ruled the night. What does that say about this team in terms of defensive prowess when the offense gets a lot of attention?
I think a lot of people think we're only an offensive team, you know, and we do work on defense all the time, and I'm glad we got to show that tonight. That's what won this game, so I'm really proud of that.
Go ahead.
Howard Kessler, New York Post. Caitlin, were there any times during the game, during breaks in action, maybe not when it's going on, but where you did try and soak it in a little bit, where you did try and be like, oh, this is different, this is not ever going to happen again? Did you ever have that when it was?
I think at the beginning of the game during the national anthem, that's just something I've tried to do all year long is like soak in our crowds and look around and enjoy it and kind of take a deep breath. And, you know, you look around, it's like standing room only. Like the place is so hot because there's so many people in there and there's no air conditioning. And I just look around and that's when I try to soak it in the most. And then obviously the game starts and you're not really too worried about it. And then at the end of the game, you know, I would have never left the court if I wasn't forced to get off. But I think those are the two moments that, you know, I soaked it in the most.
Right here.
Yeah, Michael Vopel, ESPN.com. Caitlin, I think only 7 assists for Iowa tonight. Not something you're going to see very often in the whole history of Iowa basketball. Can you talk about being able to, you mentioned having to win a different way, but when you have to win, when you don't have the ball movement that you guys are used to having?
Yeah, I think it's definitely difficult when people are out pressuring and denying us like they were. I think it's definitely something we can learn from. There's going to be teams we face, you know, going into the next round that are going to pressure us the same exact way. I thought we should have ripped through. We should have been in triple threat. We should have been ready to make passes. But also, I thought we drove downhill really well, and that's what you're going to get when people are up pressuring you. But yeah, I mean, 7 assists is not Iowa basketball, but at the same time, we didn't make many shots, so we only made 17 shots. We made 5 threes. I was the only one to make a 3, so like I said, our offense wasn't stellar by any means tonight, but I'm just so proud of our group. Like, our defense was really phenomenal, and I know we'll get right back to it. You know, it's kind of, you know, an anomaly, and that's what happens sometimes, but you got to be gritty and find a way to win, and that's exactly what this team did.
Last question for the student athletes.
Tanner Mounts, U92. This is a question for Caitlin. You know, tonight was one of the best crowds that I've seen since I've been covering games. Mm-hmm. What would you say about the support that they've given you over your last 4 years now that you've just completed your last game here?
Yeah, I think I could probably talk about them for a really long time, and I think more than anything is just like thank you. I'm very grateful that I got to play in an environment that supports women's athletics the way that they do, not only women's basketball, and to be honest, they've been doing this before I ever stepped on campus. Maybe it wasn't quite at the magnitude that it is now, but you know, these people and these fans show up, and they have shown up, and they will continue to show up. They understand how good our sport is. They understand where the sport's going. But they've, you know, shared in a lot of really special memories for myself, and a journey that, you know, I've changed a lot as a person and as a basketball player over the course of my last 4 years, and they've been a big part of that too. So I think the biggest thing is just thank you. I'm forever grateful, and I hope there's a lot of times where I can come back and be in the crowd at sold-out Carver Hawkeye Arena cheering for, you know, young girls that, you know, want to be like us.